Good morning, everybody. Happy Thirsty Thursday. Don't forget to water your plants. I'm with Morning with Jesus 2022, March 31st, last day of the month, last Thursday of the month. Don't read those. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear. Matthew 13, verses 8 through 9. Our backyard backs up to an open field full of tumbleweeds. Kind of crazy because I was working on some banana trees this morning. I had a little bit of energy, Lord knows. I already feel the pain coming in my head, but I don't care. I'm doing it for Him. I didn't know a whole lot about tumbleweeds before moving to Idaho. Now I know that whenever the wind kicks up, the dry brush breaks free from its stems and bounces over my fence. And last night we had this wind, and even this morning it was windy, so it blew a bunch of the dead stuff out of the high branches that I can't reach, which was perfect for me to pick up, and I can't just walk by it and just look at it. I have to pick it up. After one spring windstorm, kind of crazy, like this morning, there were 12 tumbleweeds stacked up in my yard. It was a tumbleweed party. What I didn't realize is that when the tumbleweeds were rolling around my yard, they were dropping their spores everywhere. Oh, brother. Kind of like dandelions up north. And I mean everywhere. I can't keep track of the thousands of tiny sprouts growing up in the edges of the grass. They are prolific. I wish all my plants were like that, no doubt. Their growth reminds us of Jesus' parable about the sower of his seeds. Jesus said the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop, yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. Matthew 13, verse 23. And it's funny, I was talking to, I'm going to call her Savannah, but I know that's not her name. The little gal that I met today, which is a doll. I was telling her about bananas. I don't know enough about the soil here to know what helps them to produce or not, but I know that my soil back home was producing bananas, just not at a faster pace. So I need to find out what the ideal environment for bananas is and understand that, and then test the soil in the areas, because some of them look better than others, but they're still not producing fruit. So I got to figure that out. That's on my agenda of things to do. Then I thought of something else that I might share with you in this video. When I take the message of Jesus' kingdom to heart, allowing his grace, forgiveness, and love to take root in my heart, the spread of his goodness is prolific. His unstoppable love at work in my life not only changes me, but also touches the lives of those around me. And that is great news. Susanna Foth Ottman, beautiful. Home run. Love that devotion. Faith step. What is the soil of your heart like? Isn't that crazy? I said I wanted to test the soil. Rocky, hard, full of weeds. Ask Jesus to make your life ready for his good news to take root and then spread to everyone around you. That's what I did this morning. I can't help but spread his word. And I had something that came to mind, so hang on. I got something to share. Talk about having a book that's your resume. I mean, it talks about, oh, I don't know, landscaping. Lord knows I did that, and I had some friends help, but it was all my visions. And then, I mean, this is, and I've got more pictures of before and after of what I did before and after. Same with the hot tub room, what it looked like before and after. And the picture that's in here doesn't even do it justice for what I did to the hot tub room, because it was amazingly tropical when I had it all dolled up. So I thought, you know what? I could use this, even just, it was another Coco Cabana at Green Acres. I did all that. It didn't look like that. It had no life. It had no life at all. I mean, the back of it, I'm like, why am I not using this as my resume as well? Because I did this. I took care of the lawn. I did all of that. I did almost all the mulch myself. I did almost all the work myself. I had help. So I didn't do it completely by myself, but the majority of it, definitely. So why not use this as part of my resume or portfolio? Same with the last house I was at. It was beyond neglected. I had pages that I submitted to the court on the neglect of the home of the people that were paying on the house. That's what it was like here when I moved in here. Talk about neglect. Huh. Worst neglect I ever seen in my life. And every property I've moved into, I've done something like this too. Every single one of them. And I know lots of my friends out there and people that I've just met, they're doing the same darn thing. We're cleaning up everybody else's messes. Their neglect, because their lives are a little more important than what God gave us, the land. So, look around. Is there something that you can do at your house that you've been neglecting? Or is there somebody down the street or next door that could use your help? Or use your help inside their house? You've walked in and say, oh my gosh, what a hot disaster. They could really use some help. And offer it up. And they may fight you at first, but I'm telling you, the relief that you'll see on their faces by offering up to help them will be something they'll never forget. What do you got to lose? But some of your own time. That's what the world has been lacking for so long, is love. Lots of love. And when I moved into Green Acres, I can tell you, it almost killed me. Well, I attempted suicide in this house. I mean, and look how beautiful this house is. It was a castle in the woods that I can tell you there was a darkness from the moment I arrived. I lived in fear. I had to have the security set and was freaked out when I got home and there was no security set. I took this place from a darkness and brought it back to life with the help of my friends that put their love into it just like I did. Now, I'm not going to say the property owners didn't put love into it when they built it, but they forgot some really key important things of it. The first thing was the lookout tower. They decided they didn't need, but you need to see the sunsets. And this house is completely enclosed from them. Talk about feeling suffocated. Oh, I felt suffocated the whole time I was there because I couldn't see the sunrise. I could see the sunrise, but never the sunsets. I live to watch the sunsets. Always have, my whole life. So being in a house that didn't do that, then on the back of the house, there was a balcony. Well, a door to go to a balcony that was never there. So a door to go nowhere. So literally to drop to your death. Why even put the bother to put the darn thing in? House has been there for over 30 years. And it wasn't like there wasn't the money. If you're going to have a door, it needs to lead somewhere. Not to nowhere. Or what if? So the countless things that I saw that were needs that needed fulfilled in this home, I did them. I didn't finish them all before I left, but it's okay. Because the new queen and king that moved into this castle went crazy. And it made me so happy to see them love that house like I did. Because I did love that house and the view and everything about it. Unfortunately, there was just so much darkness attached to it that it almost took my life. It almost took my life. So I started healing, even though this house was full of darkness when I arrived in this home. And then it continued on when I got here to the Florida Keys. And that 3-bedroom house was a house of healing, not just for me, for guests that came, for people that I met at the market. And now it sits empty and still not sold. Everything that they did to me could have been avoided had they just followed through with what they said. What was it hurting? Me being in that house while they sold it. I'm sorry I got sick, and I was sick. I was sick from the minute that I arrived. But they don't want to take any accountability for the stress that they put on my life. The undue stress. That didn't need to happen. And that saddens me, that it's continuing on constantly. That's not what he's about. If you see a need, you need to act on it. Unless somebody stops you. And here at this resort, I have been having the time of my life, helping out where I see needs. And to walk the girls and see what I've done, and it looks so much better, well, you know what? I'm not the only one that thinks that, and that's okay. And I don't need somebody to pat me on the back for what I did. I'm just trying to do my part to help out at this resort that I have literally fallen in love with. Literally. And don't ever want to leave. I am that happy here. To think that I can tidy up my own little space in a matter of minutes. Not an hour. Not hours in a day like Green Acres. Do you know how long this took me? I kept track of it. I do not need a place that I have to take care of that takes over 8 hours plus to clean. Nor do I need to have staff to do it for me. What a waste of space, etc. I shared this with all my friends, but the former occupants of the house never had people over. And when they did, it was the darkness. Nobody wanted to come back because there were so many rules and regulations. Why have a house like this if you're not going to share it with the world? That's what I did from the minute I moved in there. Just like every other house I've lived in. I have opened it up and had people stay with me constantly. That's what we're supposed to do here on earth. And it's not about a handout. I don't do it because I expect something in return. But when somebody offers me something in return and then doesn't follow through with it, doesn't make me want to keep giving to those people. It makes me understand that they are 100% takers. And it saddens me, but that's not my demons to slay, that's their own demons. And I just surrender them to God and move on to the next whomever. And you know, you want to talk about giving yourself peace when you do that? When you can totally accept somebody's behavior for who they are and totally understand it, doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to it on a daily basis, nor do you ever have to subject yourself to it again. Moving into this house and what I dealt with, this beautiful home. And I could go page by page. But I shared them on my Facebook. You just look back at them. This was a house of hell when I moved into it. And when I left, it had a light shining so bright that nothing is going to come in here and die once I left there. Because I baked Jesus into this house. And I baked Jesus into that house on Caribbean Drive, too, in Summerlin Key. There ain't a person that walks in there is not going to feel Jesus. It doesn't matter what trees they take out, what crosses they take down. He is baked in that house. In every room of that house, including the bathrooms. And there was a darkness in that house when I arrived, too. Never literally, during Lent last year, felt my bed. Felt like I was sinking into millions of worms. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. That was an eye-opener. That's when I really got my spiritual warfare armor on. Because I knew I had to slay those demons that had been attached to that house by property owner, after tenant, after whomever. And I know I accomplished that when I walked out of there, because people that came in could feel that it was a house of healing. And I'm not telling you that to toot my own horn. I'm telling you so that you can do that in the homes that you're in. Watch the War Room. That is a great movie, great tool to use for your own family. That's what I did at Green Acres, but I didn't call it a war room. I called it a prayer room, because I didn't battle anything in there. I just prayed my little heart out. I prayed my little heart out and released all of those animals that were all over throughout, like a graveyard. Talk about moving into a house of hell with a graveyard of animals that didn't have proper burials or deaths. Their lives were taken from them. And there was no doubt I felt that in that house. Because every fire that I lit in the fireplace and took pictures of, you can't even imagine all the different animals that you could see in the flames constantly. I released their souls. I gave that house a life when it was beyond dead. And I did that with the help of my friends. Thank you for all of your help to make this dream of mine and vision a reality. You helped make Green Acres look like my Garden of Eden before I left there. So thank you. Thank you. And I did what I could. I had limited to work with on Caribbean Drive. But what I did do, everything was flourishing. I had flowers popping out of the cracks in between the doors. I mean, come on now. There was so much light in that house. If it was going to grow, there's no doubt it was going to grow. It was going to find the light and flourish. So, find your light, and if you need to ignite some others, do so. But what do you got to lose but a little bit of your time? Then help somebody else out. Just saying. The look on their face, to me, is worth more money than anybody could ever put in my hand. That's how Natalie works. I'm all about your heart. When you can smile, I know that meant the world to you as well. And that, to me, is all I need. And even if you don't do that, doesn't matter. Because I know some way, somehow, you'll see down the road where whatever act I did or someone else did for you, the positive effects that it has on you. So, be a positive influence in somebody's life today. And if they're having a bad day, help lift them up. Don't help them tear down. Don't make them worse. And the last thing they need is a drink. Gives them some purified water to cleanse all that nonsense out of their body and go get rid of it in the toilet. Just saying. Don't call it the royal throne for nothing. Your body only absorbs what it needs, and it gets rid of all the rest of the waste. So why let all that garbage that the world tries to suffocate you with, do you have to keep it all within? Let it go. And leave it in the toilet and flush it. Just saying. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my video. Shine your light today. Spread love, not war. Love to all bunches. Bye.